Have you ever been in a situation where you brought up an issue or a concern to somebody only for them to turn it around on you and make you feel like you were the problem instead? If so, you might have been a victim of what is called DARVO. DARVO is a manipulation tactic that can be used to control other people and silence them. Now, in this video, we're going to look at what is DARVO, how to recognize it, what you might feel when you're in it, and what to do if you come across it. So first, let's break down the acronym of DARVO. DARVO stands for Deny, Attack, and Reverse Victim and Offender. It is a tactic used by people to avoid taking responsibility and accountability for their own behavior so that they can then turn the tables around onto you or somebody else. So first, let me give you an example of this. Imagine that you go to your partner and you share how you've been feeling really disconnected lately or feeling neglected due to their busy schedule, and you ask them if they would be willing to spend more quality time together. Your partner then denies their busy schedule, denies that they are neglecting you, and then they attack your character by accusing you of being overly needy, too sensitive, or too demanding. And then they reverse the roles by making you seem like the perpetrator and leaving you feeling guilty for bringing up the issue, and they paint themselves to be the victim. A healthy partnership and relationship would care about the other person's feelings and needs. They would want to communicate in a healthy way to find a win-win solution to meet both people's feelings and needs. In this unhealthy manipulative dynamic, a person denies all accountability and responsibility. A manipulative person can respond by denying that event ever happened. They deny the feelings or the abuse. They attack that victim's character or credibility, and then they reverse the roles, making themselves the victim and the other person the perpetrator or the offender. This is DARVO in action. Now, DARVO doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. It can happen with friends, family, in a spiritual community, with a teacher, workplace, or just about anywhere else. Here's another example. Now, imagine that you're in a situation where your supervisor gives you a huge workload. You then go to your supervisor and express your concerns about the workload. They then respond by denying that the workload is too much, attacking your work ethic, and reversing the roles, making you the problem instead of addressing the workload issue. So, why do people use DARVO? There are many reasons, but it often comes down to control and power. By using DARVO, the manipulator can maintain power and control over another person, making it harder for the victim to hold them accountable for their own behavior. DARVO can also be used to protect the manipulator's image or reputation by denying or deflecting that blame. It's important to remember that when someone is using manipulative tactics, it often stems from such a deep-seated insecurity and a lack of self-worth. They will do just about anything to protect their image and their sense of self to the outside world. It's near impossible for them to take accountability and responsibility for their words, actions, and behaviors. They are so concerned about themselves and protecting their own image that they have no care or concern for how somebody else feels. Now, are you wondering if your relationships or your community is healthy or toxic? Make sure you download my free guides in the description below for a red flag checklist. I also would love to hear your DARVO experiences in the comments below. So, how does somebody feel when they have been DARVO'd? One of the insidious effects of DARVO is that they can leave you feeling guilty, confused, or even ashamed for having raised concerns or for setting boundaries. It can destroy your confidence, your self-esteem, your sense of self-worth, making you feel helpless or hopeless, which can make you then easier to control and manipulate. By reversing the roles and making you feel like you are the problem, that person can then undermine your confidence in your own perceptions and judgments, which can lead you to doubt yourself, doubt your experience, making it easier for them to maintain control over the situation. Another common reaction to somebody who has experienced DARVO is frustration and anger. I want to take a moment to explain why this reaction of anger is completely valid. Firstly, when somebody denies the validity of the person's concerns or experiences, that D in DARVO, it can make them feel like they are not being heard or understood. This can lead to frustration and anger, especially if that person is making an effort to try and communicate their feelings and create a connection in the relationship. Secondly, when somebody attacks the person who brought up that issue in the first place, that A in DARVO, it can feel like an aggressive and unfair response. This can also trigger feelings of anger and defensiveness, as the person might feel like they are being unfairly targeted or blamed for something that they didn't do. Lastly, when somebody attempts to reverse the roles of victim and offender, that RVO in DARVO, it can be particularly infuriating. This is because it not only denies the person's experience and emotions, but it tries to make them feel like they are the problem and they are the ones at fault. This can be a form of gaslighting and can leave that person feeling so confused and invalidated. So, how can we recognize DARVO? The signs of DARVO can be so subtle, but they are there if you know what to look for. Some of the common signs of DARVO include blame shifting, denial, and gaslighting. Make sure you check out my other video on gaslighting for more information. Also, check in with how you are feeling. Like I said before, victims of DARVO might feel confused, guilty, feel like they're going crazy, feel defensive, infuriated, angry, or even responsible for the other person's behavior. It's important to remember that DARVO is a form of emotional abuse and should not be tolerated. You deserve to be with somebody who cares about your feelings and needs and will take responsibility for their part in the relationship. A relationship is a two-way street. So now, what are some of the strategies for dealing with DARVO? If you've experienced DARVO, there are some steps that you can take. First of all, most importantly, is to recognize when it's happening. Make sure that you educate yourself on DARVO and narcissistic abuse, which can help. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more education and awareness around these manipulation tactics. It's also important to speak up and set boundaries. This means communicating assertively and clearly with that person, letting them know what you will and will not tolerate and what you need in that relationship. Also, make sure to seek support from others who you trust, whether that's friends, family, or a professional that is well-versed in manipulation, narcissistic abuse, or cults. Finally, it's important that you offer yourself self-compassion, self-care, and you work towards building your sense of self and self-esteem, and learn how to honor your feelings and needs, how to speak up for yourself, and set and maintain those boundaries. Know that you deserve to be treated with respect, and you deserve to be with somebody who is going to care about your feelings and needs. Doing all of this will help you build resilience and no longer allow DARVO or any other form of emotional abuse into your life. So, to sum it up, DARVO is a manipulation tactic that can be used to control and silence other people. They deny your claims, they attack you, and then they reverse that role of victim and offender. It's important to recognize the signs of DARVO and take action to protect yourself if you've experienced it. Again, DARVO is a form of emotional abuse and should never be tolerated. If you or somebody that you know is experiencing DARVO or other forms of abuse, please seek help. I also offer one-on-one and group support if you are recovering from a toxic relationship or a cultic group. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect. So thank you so much for watching, and tune into my podcast for more resources and support. I hope to see you soon.